back to another episode of Brian and Ben's Barbecue and Bourbon podcast.
Wow, you got it right.
Yeah, I ran it through in the pre-show, and it was bad. We're not even drinking yet, and then having a hard time, so we'll see. We got a little better setup, so I'm sure you guys out there listening will appreciate the quality compared to that last one. You can actually hear me this time, but all good. So, Brian, what are we drinking tonight?
So, I guess tonight's episode is we're tasting or trying out 3 budget-friendly bourbons. First one.
So, what level are we talking about for these? Like, give me the rundown as far as like price goes.
Yeah, so all of these basically are $35 or less.
So these are good entry level. I mean, it's easy on the wallet. You know, we're walking out of the store with these 3 bottles at a price that like typically like we're normally buying one bottle at. Right. So this is something that anybody can get into if you're just trying to try a few different bourbons. So go ahead and start off on the Wild Turkey there. What do you got there?
Yeah, so right here we got a bottle of Wild Turkey 101. I don't actually recall the price of this one. I think it was like $35 and
yeah, it was right there between $30 and $35 is what you're looking at. I think, you know what, it might have been like 22. I remember it being like below 25. I think we're recalling that wrong because that was down there. The Russells was 35, and then we were looking at 25 and 25 a pop because we came out right about 80.
Okay. Yeah,
that's
that
what
makes sense.
I think it was. So you're looking at Wild Turkey 101. I've heard a lot of good things about this. She comes in about at the $25 price range. Then we got Russell's Reserve tonight. So the Wild Turkey 101, it's 101 proof. So you're looking at 50.5 or whatever on the alcohol by volume. And then Russell's comes in at 45%. And then we got Larceny over there. It comes in at 92 proof, which is 47 point or 46.2 or something like that. But yeah, what does that say?
46.
46. Okay, that makes sense. Good math. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Larceny, we said it was 26. Wild Turkey was 29.
It was probably only 23, 24.
Okay.
But yeah.
I wish I would have wrote that down.
Yeah. But,
I do remember this one being in the 30s.
So I don't think there's an age on the Wild Turkey. What is that saying there? No. But it's definitely going to run pretty hot with the higher proof. And then what do you have on that Russell's?
So Russell's is a 10-year.
10-year, okay.
And it's Russell's Reserve.
Russell's Reserve. And I think Larceny, doesn't have age, does it? No, okay.
It's not age.
So those two, they don't tell you how long it is. They're probably more a production style, not anything that takes a while to age.
Right.
I'm sure that there's a big process on the Russells, but these other two are still good bit of flavor. But we're gonna go ahead and crack open this Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, let's do that one first.
What have you had the regular Wild Turkey?
No. I've not had any ever.
We're spoiled over here. We ruined ourselves from the get go when we got into this, and some of these lower end ones. It's new. Well,
we wanted three to test. I didn't want to spend $300, so
right. Yeah.
So this is a good under $100 test.
Highly recommend the Glencairn.
Yes.
On this one. Good for smelling.
Yeah, it's the only
got
way
a little bit of ASMR effect going there.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a little heavy of a pour, but that's all good.
Yeah, that's good.
So, getting into it, I think it's kind of like coffee to me, where if you're not into something with this much potency, it takes a while to get into it. So we were all really good about ice early on. We always put a pretty hefty amount of ice in whatever we were drinking, and it was fine. But we've kind of over time gotten away from it, drinking it straight up, and we can pull so much more flavor out of it.
Well, we've even tried water.
Water's good. Yeah.
We did ice, a splash of water, and now we just we drink it neat. I don't think I've drank it with water in it for a while.
Can't really pull much off on the smelling yet.
Ooh, hit you hard.
It definitely has a bite, but I like the flavor.
It tastes
It smells sweeter though, but there is some potency for sure.
yeah. I want to say caramel, but
I think you're right.
or cough syrup.
Yeah, I think the caramel note reminds me a lot of when we did that higher proof Old Forester. What was it, like 115 or something?
Yeah.
It's got that higher proof. It starts to taste like that caramel taste.
What's the proof on that?
101. So 101 proof.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think it probably has a little bit more bite than you were expecting, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like it though.
I like it. It just it hit the olfactories a little differently.
Yeah. Hot and heavy. I think what did we do last time? Half shots?
Yeah.
Okay. You were starting off a little hot on this one.
A little bit.
But all good. Yeah, I was excited about that one. The other ones maybe we'll do. We'll tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Gonna be feeling good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Remember my meeting tomorrow.
Good thing mine's at 3 o'clock.
That's
so
right.
We're good.
Mine's not till 5, so.
Yeah. I gotta head way down the road tomorrow, but I'll be good. So
I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like on a scale of 1 to 10. Well, see, it's hard. We can't do that anymore. It's like
So I am very impressed for this price point on the 101. Like I think I've not had a lot of other wild turkeys because when I think of it, I just think of it as like bullet or something where it's just hit it real quick and take a shot and then you're done.
Right.
But like that's what I think of when I think of wild turkey. But I'm impressed, and this has delivered a lot more flavor than I expected. For sure.
Now, have you had Wild Turkey 101 or? Just...
I've never had any of the wild turkeys.
Okay, there have I.
So
this is all new.
It's definitely different. And out of these three, I've had Larceny quite a few times,
Okay.
and I really do like that. But right now, I'm thinking I'm liking the 101 more than that, from what I can recall.
Is that right?
But time will tell on that one.
I mean, it is a little oaky. I wish I was better at the notes.
Yeah.
I don't know, I keep getting caramel and.
So I don't think last time we talked about when we first started buying like whiskey glasses, but I had bought this set of glasses from Walmart or something for you for Christmas,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, because I think we had drank a couple. We started drinking Widow Jane pretty good, and I remember we were like grabbing like wine glasses and like sticking it in like beer mugs,
solo
and I was
cups.
like, whatever was around. And I got those for you, and then you just went on like a rampage grabbing every bottle of Widow Jane you get your hands on.
Well, those were the what do they call those?
It's pretty classic.
wide
I
mouth.
don't know what they're called, but
But the Glencairns that's definitely the one for doing it neat.
it's a staple.
Yeah. What are they? I can't.
Man, there's this guy on TikTok. Have you ever followed that bistro guy? That guy that does all the waiter, like he like basically used to be a waiter. Or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and he plays like the redneck role from time to time.
Yeah, I remember.
But he had one where he pours he pours it in the Glencairn, and he's like, "Why are you bringing me this fancy wine glass? Get that out of here!" Whatever. It's some redneck.
Oh, that's funny.
But nah, it looks a little girly. I'm not gonna lie, but it definitely helps that flavor for sure.
Yeah. Well, the wider mouth glasses, you can if you wanted to do ice or water, it's a lot
fits
easier.
it better. I mean,
you
trying to drop a cube in these things is tough.
Yeah, you can't.
Yep. Yeah, I missed that Bland's, man.
Yeah.
Shoot. But, yeah, the 101's got some bite, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it. It's definitely where a whiskey that if I'm looking for a budget bourbon, something to sip, I'd do this. No problem. Yeah, hey, there's no if I'm just having a little bit on the weekend, it's one thing if you got some guys over and you want to bring out a fancy bottle, but if you're just looking for something to relax with,
right?
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I mean, you can't beat it for $20-some.
Yeah, $20-some. I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, same here
for sure.
For the price. If it was, a $60 bottle, I'd probably say never again.
Yeah, but I think on the value scale here, it delivers higher than its price point, but it's definitely not going to blow out. Like a Widow Jane or something like that we like.
Agreed.
But yeah, good bang for your buck, no doubt. All right, well,
let's go to the Larceny.
You're gonna go to Larceny next. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I want to.
I guess one more thing. Yeah, I remember. I just want to correct something on the last podcast. Widow Jane is actually made in New York, so it's not a bourbon. It's actually just I don't know what type of whiskey it's considered, but you know the whole story.
It's labeled bourbon, though.
Is it labeled bourbon?
I don't know. You got me wondering.
Because I'm not sure. Let me pull up a picture. I think for those of you that aren't aware, whiskey, a bourbon is a whiskey, but not all
whiskeys are bourbon.
Whiskeys, well, that's a general statement.
Right.
But it does say bourbon. It says hand assembled in Brooklyn using richest rare straight bourbons, blah blah blah. So what I have heard previously is that a bourbon has to be made in Kentucky, right? I've heard stories, but I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. I know one of the key things is it has to be in a new oak barrel.
And maybe that's all it is.
It can't be used.
It could be limited to. I hear stuff, so I don't know if it's true or not. But it is labeled as. I'm not seeing it on the bottle, but it does say gold bourbon 6+ years. Yeah, I highly recommend it, regardless of what they consider it.
Yeah.
But our whiskey, 10-year-old.
And we did the 13-year Widow Jane, which
Did we talk about that last time?
I think we did, and
okay.
It's I've never had the 6. We've had the 10 multiple occasions, and then we tried the 13, and it was just it was a little too peaty for me.
So Larceny, I don't think I've ever had this thing without ice. So.
Oh, really?
But it's 92, so we're coming down a little bit on the proof. So.
And we haven't opened these yet either, so. What'd you call it? ASMR?
Yeah. Picking up every little detail there.
That's funny. Should I do like...
Brian's over there rubbing the mic. Oh.
What was that? Nice.
All right, let's do a little half shot.
Yeah, half shot.
A little taste test.
That's good.
Sorry. It was a little heavy. So Larceny, I love the label. Big fan of the label here. We got a key on top. Basically the key is where that wrapper is for the lid, and then underneath you got that lock. This was started in 1870, so it's been around a while. John E. Fitzgerald. I think I've read this through before. Yeah, so I really like the design on this. Definitely a good selling point. The bottle looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. The rest of these, it's pretty straightforward. The 101's pretty bland, and the Russells, there's nothing special. But I like the way this thing looks.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. It looks like a guitar to me. You know?
I agree.
So, but all right, let's see. What are you smelling?
Smelling vanilla.
I agree.
A little bit of cinnamon.
We're getting better and better at this over time, smelling. I think the more and more you got people come over here that are experienced and talk about the different flavors. The more you're able to pull out, what type of flavors you're getting.
Yeah, and we watch a ton of YouTube on it.
I really am smelling the cinnamon. I'm really smelling the vanilla.
Yeah.
And it's not as potent on the
It's almost like
the
cinnamon
nose.
toast.
It's not as potent on the nose as I remember. Because I remember this being a hard bite. But this is also one of those first bourbons where I went from like Maker's Mark to Larceny, like those type of levels. And this had a little bit more bite than Maker's Mark, but it wasn't crazy. Yeah, that's a lot harder. That's a lot harder than the 101. It's got quite a bite. And it's weird. It's a lower proof, but I feel like it's more potent.
I think it's more potent, but it's not as like the Wild Turkey took me for a little shock.
The back end
This is smooth.
This is light. So it's with Larceny, from what I'm tasting right now, it's an initial bite and then the back end it just kind of fades away. Versus the 101, I felt like I was getting the bite on the back end, but Larceny just kind of disappears.
Yeah,
but the flavor, I don't like the flavor as much on this.
I don't know. So I like the way this kind of dissipates a little bit. Like it hits you a little bit right in the beginning, but then it kind of like flattens out.
It does disappear, and the finish isn't terrible.
Mm-mm.
But
as far as taste, I mean, I don't know.
It's not as sweet as the 101. No. But I do like the end note for sure more than the 101.
Yeah. This was how much?
This is right at 25.
Okay.
I think it might have been like $24.99.
I'm spoiled.
So just to clue everyone in, since the last podcast, we've started a YouTube channel. So the first episode is up on YouTube, and we also we have our website up too. It is Brian Ben's Barbecue and Bourbon, no ands, just to keep it tight on typing it out on the URL.
Yeah, we'll throw a link in the description.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we're looking to do these. We said monthly originally, but these are so fun. I think we're going to be doing these pretty frequently. Do you have anything coming up on the barbecue side that you want to do? Is there any big purchases as far as meat goes?
So I mean,
what do you got in the freezer right now?
Right now, I got some probably about 10-pound of chuck roast. I wanna try.
That'd be good.
Trying to smoke that.
So what's the end goal in that? Just like chunks or slices or?
So the chuck roast is a poor man's brisket. So we had gotten that, and we had tried it one time. It didn't turn out that great, and so I want to try a couple different techniques on it. But so that's what we got.
10 pounds. That's a big chunk of meat.
It's 2 5-pounders.
Okay, gotcha.
So
are they in the same package? Or?
No, we separated them out.
Costco's great, guys. Real budget friendly for sure.
And then we got a couple chickens.
Okay.
So I want to try those out.
We haven't done that in a while.
No.
What's the normal process on those chickens?
It's basically the same as a turkey. I mean, we've done.
So did we inject those? I can't remember.
We didn't inject. Last time we did chicken, we did not inject.
We're gonna have a flashback to Thanksgiving about 2 years ago.
Well,
we talked about this one.
We injected, yes, 2 years ago.
Was that the one that caught on fire, or was that this year?
No, that was last year's turkey.
Okay.
Not to the point where it wasn't edible.
He had this thing like all seasoned up perfectly,
that
and
stupid
we forgot to inject it. And we had done a test run probably a couple months prior to Thanksgiving, and it was phenomenal. Best turkey I've ever had. I mean, really, really good stuff. The injection was butter, chicken broth, I think,
garlic,
a little bit of hot sauce,
yeah,
and it turned out amazing. And I think it just helps with the dryness, just getting that injection in. But what happened was Thanksgiving, we didn't inject it. We put it right on the smoker, and we're like, oh,
crap, we forgot to inject it.
So I was like, Brian, go ahead and do it. And
Yeah, well, when you inject in one location, it squirts out in another, and that's what catches fire.
yeah, we had that thing like engulfed in flames.
So,
It was it didn't char anything really too
no,
bad, but it was, you look outside and next thing you know the whole thing's like
yeah, not
smoking real
good.
bad and on fire, and
Yeah,
it's like 600 degrees in the grill, you know.
yeah, but I mean,
But
it turned out we salvaged it. We
tasted
pulled it
fine,
off,
no
and
problem.
I set it on the wood pile, try to get the fire out, and then put it back on. It was still good, but then this time around, we did one for Thanksgiving this year and Christmas this year.
I
Both.
think it takes it to a whole nother level.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not a fan of turkey in general. Like, I like the dark meat because it holds that moisture well, but I think injecting it takes it to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then basting it, and we did I'm gonna call a fat guy's turkey rub. No, we didn't. It was Cosmos.
I highly recommend his line. So what is it again?
So we did. It was an AP base, and then I did Cosmos Dirty Bird
Okay.
as a seasoning, and because it's always a joke. You're such a dirty bird. That's like the joke around the house. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
I can't make those jokes around my father-in-law.
yeah, but you gotta smack it while you're saying it. So yeah, but I mean that stuff's no joke, and usually I put that on any chicken now. It's like when I go to smoke the smaller chickens, I'll use that. But even on just regular chicken breasts, I'll throw some of that with.
So did you do a hot rub on there too? I can't remember. Can't recall.
So the first one I did the Dirty Bird. The second one I did Malcolm Reed's hot barbecue rub.
And what's their line of spices? I can't remember. It's like what is it?
Who? Malcolm?
Malcolm's. What do you normally buy? Like what do they call those spices? Like the
I mean, I call them rubs.
Well, no, but what's his brand name? It's
Oh,
Killer
it's
Hogs.
Killer
right?
Hog,
I
yes.
highly recommend all
Killer
of those
Hog, yeah.
spices. I mean, the steak rub. I'm
it's
a
phenomenal.
Huge fan of. I don't think I've done a steak where I didn't like it. Like we've done it where I've overcooked the steaks and they still
Yeah.
tasted good.
Even on hamburger.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great. You put
So
on anything.
yeah, check out those the Killer Hogs line of
Yeah.
spices. I mean, those. He's a master.
Mm-hmm.
He's a scientist when it comes to the grill. I highly recommend.
Yeah, and follow him on YouTube. How to Barbecue Right is his.
We haven't
YouTube.
gone wrong. I mean, he hasn't led us astray. I think there's been a few things where we've been heavy on really wings, the seasoning. But
Honestly, what I'm finding out, and we're about a year into smoking. Well, no, maybe 2 years. You started 2 years ago.
I've probably been right about like 2.5, right around that. But most of it was just smoking some venison.
Right.
Any onion based rub, I really like.
Yeah.
Some of it's Pit Boss. That's the brand of the smoker. I had bought like a couple rubs from them. Those are pretty good.
Right.
But I think Malcolm's got it figured out.
No, so he's top notch, and basically what I've found is the smaller the cut of meat, go easy on the rub.
Yeah.
The bigger
for
the
sure.
cut of meat, you
Just-
cannot have enough. Like a
No.
brisket, I could literally put a whole container
I mean,
of
as
rub.
much salt and the AP,
Yeah. A ham. We did a ham for Easter.
can't do enough.
Can't do enough, and yeah. So there's big hunks of meat. You can pretty much be very liberal. But where we've screwed up, at least where I've screwed up, it's like doing wings. I mean, I think
Man,
I've never
Had to
tasted
run it
something
under the-
so salty.
I had to run it under the faucet.
Yeah,
so I
just to
could
get
get a
the
bite.
seasoning off. It was, but then we learned the second time, and then I forgot the third time. so we got
That's
wings
all part of
coming
the
up.
process.
Yeah, it's
getting
all
out there
fun.
trying stuff. So
Yeah, but I think next on the menu is, I don't know. I haven't been to Costco's since meat prices have been going up, but
everything has.
the last brisket I bought was a 12-pounder and paid $70 for it. And,
So now you're in the Larceny right now. What are you thinking?
I like, yeah. I'd like it better than the wild turkey. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm a disagree on that one. I think I like the 101 a little better.
Yeah, I think this is just so some guy I was listening to earlier. People tend to use the word smooth somewhat liberally, and when you're describing bourbons as smooth, usually somebody who doesn't it's kind of a novice in it, you know.
Yeah, just trying to sound cool.
Just trying to sound cool. Or you have people that, you know, you have guys that really do their research and they really want to learn. So they don't know the terminology. I'm in that camp. I don't know all the terminology.
Of course.
You know, I'm starting with the
the website's completely lying.
Yeah.
We're the Maryland's bourbon experts.
Yeah, we're getting there. But so I mean, you know, knowing the different smells and like, you know, I can now start picking out like caramel and, you know, some fruit notes or whatever. But even talking notes.
But what you had said about the vanilla on this one and the caramel, I think the vanilla is very prominent on the Larceny.
Yeah. So with the terminology, somebody who's new to this, you know, one of the key terms is smooth, and people that say smooth just to make themselves look good don't really know what smooth means. No. You know, whereas people that say, you know, now this is me saying this Larceny is smoother than the Wild Turkey. And when I say that is when I took that first hit off that Wild Turkey, I was like, ouch.
Yeah.
I literally said ouch.
I think smooth typically applies to the back end, where Larceny is letting off a lot. Like there's not a bite on the end at all.
This is
Wild Turkey. It's like you can feel it on the end.
It hits you. It hits you pretty hard, pretty fast. Whereas this, it's smooth. It means not these sharp corners, are more sanded and rounded is how I would explain it. And it's got a flatter finish. Whoops. And it's got a flatter finish. It's not like the Wild Turkey is like this huge hit up, and then it kind of mellows out, and then all the alcohol is kind of vaporizing within your skull. Whereas
he doesn't like it, guys.
But the Larceny, you know, it's got a much flatter finish. I mean, in my opinion, I like the Larceny a little bit better than the Wild Turkey. Now, compare this to anything else we've had. Like, I'm a big fan of Old Forester.
This is, very budget. But I think this is similar. This is a low end of the Old Forester high proof, you know, 115 Prohibition. That's what we started off drinking as far as, like, the Old Forester line. I thought about grabbing that today because that's a good budget one for sure. But the 115 I really like. Yeah. It runs high. But it's very similar to this Larceny. It's just probably a little better, I think, overall. But.
I think next time we should do a $35, but another $35,
just like flat all the way,
and then do one $65, like a Widow Jane or something like that.
Yeah,
just so that you can compare the $35. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the budget ones, you know, but just so that we can get a sense for. All right, what does a Widow Jane or what does a Woodford Reserve?
It might be good to keep the proofs similar because we have a little bit of variance here tonight on, you know, where the proofs are. But if you had them all right at 90, it'd be good to just see what the difference is as far as that goes.
Yeah, and as far as proof goes, I mean, I could care less. I mean, I do agree. I think that, you know, if you're going to compare, you want to keep them all equal. But, you know, if something's... I think it has to be a minimum of 40%.
40 is what... Is that considered a whiskey at that point?
I think 40% is the bottom line of bourbon, I believe.
Okay, because I know Scotch is right. It flirts with that 40% line.
I think that's... I'll have to look that up.
But let's get that Russell's open.
All right, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this one looks good. You were right to have this one being the last one.
Yeah. Now I heard good stuff about this one. More ASMR.
Yeah. Oh, I think I got it.
You got it.
You got a knife on you?
We probably should have opened these prior. Let me try. My glasses.
So, if you had like one barbecue meal that you could make, regardless of the price, like what would you make? I mean, brisket's up there, but like if there's something that you haven't done, like
regardless of the price,
you know, hey, you can have whatever you want barbecue style right now. I mean, brisket's up.
Man, you know what? I'd love to do some tomahawk steaks.
I'm with you. I see those pictures on like Instagram and stuff sometimes. I'm like, Man, that looks good. It's just the presentation, I think, takes it to another level.
I saw a guy that deep fried one. I'm like, what are you doing? I kid you not.
Do you know what they run for as far as price point goes?
I think they're a little higher. A prime rib, I'd love to do a prime rib.
That would be cool.
I'd love to. Yeah. Honestly, I'd love to get a prime rib and cut them myself.
Yep.
Yeah, go easy on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. Yeah, but prime rib would be another one.
I'm going to read a little bit about Russell's here. More than 90 years. Jim and his son Eddie Russell, hand selected. Yeah, so Kentucky, 10-year. What do you think so far on the smell?
It's not as harsh as the Wild Turkey. Not to use the word smooth again.
Well, some of that is just, I mean, you're looking at different proofs.
Yeah, but
there's more. I'm pulling more on the smell. Like,
yeah,
there's more of a variety of flavor.